Right, lads, UFC 314 just wrapped up over the weekend, and what a card that was. I mean, unreal performance by Volkanovski. Paddy the Baddy just killed Michael Chandler. I don't know where that came out of, but I'll make a different video discussing that performance. And we had Jean Silva just killing Bryce Mitchell. Dominic Reyes with an amazing comeback. I mean, he actually might be fighting for the title in the next year or so, which is crazy to think about considering his four-fight loss streak that was only about 2 years ago. So unreal card overall. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it. It was amazing. Fully delivered. And we'll talk about the Volkanovski performance. I'll bring up the Paddy Pimblett performance in a different video because I definitely need to talk about that as well. I mean, that was just unreal. I did not see that coming at all. But I mean, this fight was just insane. It really delivered. Going into this fight, I wasn't really sure how it would go. I thought Volkanovski would win, but after coming off of two knockout losses, you just never know what's going to happen. You don't know how Volk is going to look. But, I mean, he looked amazing. He looked like prime Volk. And I always thought the first two or three rounds would be dangerous. But if it got past those stages, then Volk was definitely winning. And I mean, I think everyone got a heart attack when Lopez knocked down Volkanovski at the end of the second round. I was getting flashbacks there, fucking PTSD. But Volk made a nice comeback from that. He recovered well and just put on a punishing performance overall. So the scorecards were 49-46, 48-47, and 48-47, I believe. Um, I had it 49-46. It's tough to score that second round because Volk is winning the majority of the round, but then Lopez lands that punishing knockdown at the end of it. So it's hard to choose who to lean towards, but personally, I would lean towards Volk winning that round, but it could go either way. But either way, it doesn't really matter anyway. Volk clearly won that fight. I saw some people calling it a robbery online, but that's just fucking stupid. I don't know. Are they watching the fight in Braille? Like, are they fucking blind? Like, Volk clearly won that. I don't know what people are going on about, but it's amazing to see Volk back. I mean, he is in my top five favorite UFC fighters of all time, and I think after that performance and after him being a two-time featherweight champion, I feel like you can't deny he is the greatest featherweight of all time. I know a lot of people were saying it, but me personally, I had Jose Aldo as still being the greatest featherweight of all time. But after this, I feel like there's no denying it. I think Volkanovski is now the greatest featherweight of all time, which is a big achievement considering Jose Aldo was the original holder for that, for me personally, anyway. But yeah, it's hard to know what's next for Volkanovski. There's a lot of different options he could go for. And it's hard to know, is he as good as before? I mean, after that performance, I think he is, but after being knocked out two times, it's going to be tough to tell. But yeah, I think we're just going to discuss what's next for Volkanovski's career. There's a lot of different options he can go with, and the first, most obvious option, in my opinion, is Movsar Evloev. Now, a lot of people don't like the guy. He's not that entertaining. He's 8-0 in the UFC, he's undefeated, but he has zero finishes, which is kind of crazy considering he has 18 wins, 19 wins now, I believe. So to not have any finishes, it's pretty crazy, but I don't think he's as boring as people say he is. I mean, if you look at the Diego Lopez fight, it was entertaining. If you look at the Dan Ige fight, it was entertaining. If you look at the Arnold Allen fight, that was an amazing fight. What I will say is, I believe Arnold Allen won that fight. I do believe Arnold Allen got robbed. I thought he won rounds 1 and 3, I believe it was. Um, but look, it was a close fight. I can't really call it a robbery, but I do think Arnold Allen should have won that fight. But nonetheless, you can't really dime at this point. I don't know why he's ranked number five. I feel like he should be ranked number one or two at this point. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I know the UFC don't really like him because he's not getting highlight reel knockouts or anything like that, but you can't deny the talent. I mean, his fight with Aljamain Sterling was beautiful to watch. A lot of people call grappling boring, and I will say it definitely can be boring if you look at some fighters, but it was entertaining. It was entertaining grappling. Whether you love him or hate him, he's not as boring as people say he is. And at this point, being 19-0, 8-0 in the UFC, beating the top contenders. I mean, he's beat Arnold Allen, he's beat Aljamain Sterling, a former UFC champion. He's he's beating the top guys. He beat Diego Lopez, who just fought for the title and put up a good scrap against Volk. I feel like it just makes the most sense. You can't really deny it to him at this point. And it might not be a big money fight, but look, you can't really deny it at this point. This isn't WWE. It's not fake fighting. It's not all about the money. It's real fighting, you know. And at the end of the day, you need to give it to who deserves it the most. And me personally, I think Masvidal deserves it the most. But we have other options as well for Volk. Personally, if this fight happened, I do think Volk would get it done. It's tough to say how convincingly he'd get it done, but I think this is the easiest fight for him in the division at the moment. Honestly, out of the contenders who deserve it, of course. But I just feel like Volk has amazing wrestling defense, as we saw in the Islam Makhachev fight, and Islam is definitely a better overall fighter than Masvidal Evloev. There's no denying that. And seeing how well he did there, I just can't see how Masvidal will beat him in that game, because he's not going to beat him in the striking realistically, and his wrestling game, I just don't think it's good enough to beat Volkanovski, who is such a good defensive wrestler. And there's no knockout threat in this fight as well, which is very good for Volk, considering his only two losses in the last, 10 years, last decade, have been by knockout from Islam Makhachev and Ilya Topuria. And there's no knockout threat with Masvidal. There's not really a submission threat, no finish threat, because he has zero finishes in his career. So I feel like that's the only risk Volk could be seeing, and that risk isn't there in this fight. So I don't really see Masvidal winning this fight. He could if he comes out improving a lot, because he has improved over his UFC career. I have seen that, but I just don't see him getting it done. To be honest, I think Volk would get this fight done. Probably not by a finish. I don't think Masvidal would be durable, but we don't know what his cardio's like. He's only done 3 round fights. He seems to look pretty good though. I would say Volk by decision. But if this fight ever does get announced, I can break it down more in that video. So I'll leave it at that for now. Volk's next possible opponent, which a lot of people are talking about, would be Yair Rodriguez. And to be honest, I don't really get it. They fought before about 2 years ago. Volk won pretty convincingly. And well, I do think it would be a good fight. And I think Yair has a better chance this fight after Volk getting knocked out twice. I mean, unlike Masvidal fight, there is a huge knockout risk with Yair Rodriguez with those crazy fucking spinning backflip kicks, whatever the fuck he does. um, but yeah, I do think he has a better chance winning rather than Masvidal. But he got submitted by Brian Ortega, and he's coming off one win against someone who wasn't even in the UFC. And Patricio Pitbull is an amazing fighter, I know that, but I don't think you should get a title shot beating someone who wasn't even in the UFC, who was past his prime, and who lost to Brian Ortega. I don't really like Brian Ortega's ranked number 7. Yair Rodriguez is ranked number 4, even though Yair lost to him last year. I don't really understand it. I don't think he deserves a title shot. I think he needs at least one more win. I think you should give him Diego Lopez. There's clearly some bad blood in there, and I think it'd be an entertaining fight. I think Yair Rodriguez should fight Diego Lopez next, and if he beats Diego, fair enough, give him a title shot. But for now, I don't think he deserves it. Um, I mean, the big question is, has Yair improved enough to beat Volkanovski? Because the last fight 2 years ago, it was fairly one-sided. Volk TKO'd him in round 3. Um, but I do think Yair has improved, but I just don't see him beating Volk again. But he does have a better chance in this fight, I will say, because of the knockdown threat, or the knockout threat, sorry. Um, and I mean, those kicks are lethal. And if Volkanovski got knocked out by Islam Makhachev's kicks, I could definitely see him getting knocked out by Yair Rodriguez's kicks. But I just don't think Yair deserves it. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see the fight. It is an entertaining fight. Probably more entertaining than the Masvidal fight, but I'm not that interested, because I do think it would go pretty much the same as last time, and I just don't think Yair deserves it as much. I am not too confident that Volk would win, but I would definitely lean towards him. I'm just not as confident as in their last fight because of that knockout threat, and Volk's chin probably isn't as great as it was before, so that's the only reason. But I'm not too keen on this fight. I just don't think Yair has done enough to reward him a rematch with Volkanovski yet. So yeah, the last fighter that people have been talking about, Jean Silva. And I'll start off by saying I fucking love Jean Silva. He's an entertaining fighter. He's 5-0 in the UFC, all finishes, all knockouts or submissions. So he's clearly an entertaining fighter. He's not boring. And Alexander Volkanovski versus Jean Silva, I think everyone would love to see that fight. I'd love to see that fight. It would be a banger of a fight, but he doesn't deserve it yet. I know people will say, "Oh, what? He's undefeated in the UFC. He's 5-0, all finishes. He does deserve it." He's coming off a win of 13 ranked Bryce Mitchell. That does not warrant you a title fight. He has one win over. He has one win over ranked opponents in the UFC. It's just he doesn't deserve it. His biggest wins were Bryce Mitchell and Drew Dober, and they were very good performances. Don't get, they were unbelievable performances. But he needs one or two more wins before he can be considered as a title contender. Because we don't know if he's good enough yet. We do know he's UFC level good. We know he's top 15 level good. We know he's an unbelievable fighter, but we don't know if he's championship level yet. We need one or two more fights to decide that. I say one or two because they could throw him straight into a top 5 guy. And if he beats him, then fair enough, give him a title shot. But I'm not sure if they'll do that yet. I think they'll give him someone in the top 10, and then he'll beat them, and then give him a top 5 guy. Or if there's no one else they have, then they can just give him a top 10 guy if he beats them. They might even give him the title shot if it's another great performance. But I think he needs another 2 more wins, ideally. I haven't really looked into next opponents for him. I can do that in a different video breaking down who we should fight next, but I'm not too sure at the moment. But I am sure that he doesn't deserve a title shot yet. But I am a huge fan of John Silva, and this fight would be an absolute banger. But I'm not sure who would win, because that's the whole thing. John Silva hasn't been championship level tested yet. He's put on lethal performances against very high level fighters, but not nearly on the same level as Volkanovski. So we need more time to see if he's good enough, and I'm just not sure if he is yet. But seeing those little performances and not being able to see him go up against a high level fighter yet, or sorry, he has fought high level fighters, just not championship level fighters. It's hard to predict this fight. I would have to break it down when it's closer and when it looks more possible and when it looks more likely to happen. Because right now, I have no fucking idea. It's just too hard to tell. It's too early to tell. It's too early to predict and break down this fight. So right now, I'm 50-50. I'm split. I have no idea. You can never count Volkanovski out, but Jean Silva's been on a tear. But look, we'll give him 1 or 2 more wins, and I can break it down then, and I can be more certain of who's going to win this fight. But for now, I have no idea. But let me know what you guys think. If you think Jean Silva can beat Volkanovski, or if you think he's just not on Volkanovski's level. Personally, I don't think he's on that level yet, but by the time he gets another 1 or 2 more ranked wins, he could very well be on that level. We just need to see if Volk declines and if Jean Silva improves enough. But nonetheless, I'd love to see the fight sometime down the line. It would be an absolute banger, and Jean Silva could definitely be a future champion for sure. Jean Silva and Ilia Topuria is a fight that I've always wanted to see. I think that would be amazing. But I don't think Ilia Topuria is coming back down to featherweight. I think he's gonna permanently stay at lightweight. Also, I need to make a video on Ilia Topuria as well, because what are they doing? Give him Islam Makhachev already. I need to see that fight. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all of Volk's potential next fights. Either way, happy to see him back. The featherweight GOAT. I love to see him back. One of my favorite fighters for sure, and I think everyone loves him. I mean, if you hate Volk, then the fuck you doing, man? Cop on, you know what I mean? Like, he's an unreal fighter. He's a lovable guy. He's respectful. He's entertaining. There's nothing that I don't like about this fella. He's all class, and it's great to see him hold the belt again. I will say, the featherweight division feels a bit incomplete now, and not as legit. I'm not saying it's not legit, but not as legit now that Ilia Topuria vacated the belt, because realistically, I think everyone still sees Ilia Topuria as the featherweight champion. But look, he's moved on to lightweight now. He's moved on to the second part of his career, and right now, Volkanovski's back. That's all that matters. And he looked great. Let me know what you thought about his performance, and let me know what potential fights you would like to see in the future. and how well you think Volkanovski's going to do with this new era of featherweights coming into the division. Will we have another fucking 10 fight title reign? Probably not, but I hope I'll be down. I'll be down to see that. But look, great to see Volk back, and let me know what you think, and let me know how well you think he's going to get on, and which of the three fights I mentioned do you think makes the most sense? Which fight would you rather see? Yair Rodriguez, Movsar Evloev, or Jean Silva? Personally, I think the most entertaining fight would be Jean Silva, but I think the most deserving fight and the fight that should happen is Movsar Evloev. But let me know your opinions on this, and yeah, great to see Volk back. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.